This video is about being thankful for the triggers so that I can uncover, where did this come from? Is that even true? And by triggered, I mean this reaction like it just feels awful, like instant stress or instant overwhelm or instant anger. I don't know, anger is not the word. Wanting out. That's more like it. Me just being like, I'm done. I want out. The most recent time I was triggered was by my boyfriend on Sunday morning because he's also my business partner. And that's been going way better than I thought it would, because when I first started dating him, so not to go too far back, but I saw him on Bumble and it said accountant, and he also looked like Aquaman, and I'm like, what is this? So I was like, I need the accountant part in my life. And then he mountain biked and we had a lot of things in common. And so he had a 6-figure corporate job and he hadn't taken a vacation in 6 years. And I was like, I can't date someone who hasn't taken a vacation in 6 years. I'm going to need to have you not work so much. And then I told him, I think I want you to come run my company with me. And he said, you are absolutely insane. I said, yes, you should know that. Yes, I am. Yes. And so he did end up quitting his job, and he's my COO, my ops manager. And I keep trying to get him out of the weeds, meaning he does a lot of things that somebody else can do. There are things that only he can do. Like, he's the money man. He loves analyzing numbers. He's an analyst. He loves research. There are things that only he can do to move our business forward, but he loves like getting into the nitty-gritty of things. So Sunday morning, we live separately, and I was like journaling, and I got really excited because I had this epiphany for both of us. And it was basically how to free up his time. And I call him, and unfortunately, he had just woken up. He's a night owl. I'm a morning owl, if there is such a thing as a morning owl. Morning bird. Anyways, he had just woken up, and I said, maybe we don't have to talk about this right now because you just woke up. And he's like, no. And so I told him, I said, I have this idea for helping you be more in your zone of genius, although I think I said it differently. And he's like, no, he's like, I don't want that. I don't understand all of you entrepreneurs just trying to work less. And then I got triggered because I felt like he was calling me lazy, and I worry that I'm lazy. So that's why it triggered me. I'm not lazy. The things that I love doing, I will do them all day long. And I mean, yeah, that's the same for all of us, but there are productive things that I love doing. I love helping people. I love strategizing. I love making these videos. I love making content. I love my strategy calls with my clients. I love brainstorming calls. So there are things that I love that are productive, but then there's a conversation of why do we feel like we have to be productive all the time? Anyways, I was just triggered. And I wrote something in my journal to the effect of kind of like, I don't know what we're going to do if we can't get past this. And luckily, I just brought it up to him again later. And I said, I really was sad all day, which was my choice. I know that. Like, I have control over my emotions, but I was just sharing with him, like, I was sad all day because it's been 24 years of entrepreneurship. And I finally feel like I'm running my business properly. I finally feel like I have it figured out to where I can sit in the seat where I'm doing my best work, and that feels so good. And I just wanted that for him. Like, so I'm trying to get him to not check his email on the weekends. He has the alerts on his phone. He checks his email nonstop. I'm trying to get him to have space, because when we move in together, if he's checking his email on a Sunday, I've got to unplug. I've got to veg. When I choose to veg and unplug, a lot of times I do choose to work on my business, but it's a choice. Like, it's got to be a choice. And if we're living together and then all of a sudden he's answering his email and he brings up this thing, then my brain's back in work mode. And as an entrepreneur, I've always struggled with shutting my brain off and having that time off. And we have to have it, because I've been in the hospital multiple times from not shutting off, right? So anyways, I feel like I'm close to building this life of freedom for both of us, and he just wants to be a workaholic. But then again, when I was dating him and I saw his work ethic, I was like, oh, wow, like, you don't want it the other way. You don't want to be in a partnership with someone who's lazy. But I want to have vacations with him and not have him checking his email. At least it's our business. At least he's not checking his email for a corporate job that doesn't care about him, because he cares about our virtual assistants so much and we care about each other. But anyways, going back to the triggering. So I've been in this position where it's like, I'm thankful I'm triggered because this is something that I need to work through. And the thing that I have needed to work through is I'm afraid of taking time off because I'm afraid of not being motivated anymore. I'm afraid of like taking time off and then coming back and I'm not motivated. And that's scary to me. And then the other trigger is feeling held back from something. I felt like I had figured this thing out, and then I felt like he didn't want to do it, and that didn't feel good. But when we had the actual conversation of, okay, what would this look like? What feels better to you? It was fine. We were on the same page. And so I'm just realizing that I'm somebody who, instead of taking the time to have the conversation or whatever, I think I just prefer to just be an island. Because if I'm an island, then I'm the only one affected by my decisions. I get to make all the decisions and I just kind of do what I want. But that's because I come from a life of women were submissive to the men. I was submissive to my husband from 18 to 25 years old, which was not my nature. We wore long dresses, no TV, no dancing, stuff like that. And so because I come from that, freedom is really, really important to me. And I'm working towards it. And it's important to me to be able to make my own decisions and feel like I have the freedom to make my own decisions. And so I just have some stuff to work through that have nothing to do with him. And so this video is about being thankful for the triggers so that I can uncover, where did this come from? And then all the thoughts that come from the trigger. Is that even true? Asking the questions. Oh, we're never going to have a vacation together. Really? Is that even true? Like, come on, please. We're going to the Philippines in a week and a half. Like, we will have vacations together. Or when we live together, he's always going to be answering emails. No, we will figure it out. He just loves to serve. He loves to be helpful. And I love that about him. And he also doesn't love it when Monday there's a bunch of emails. So he likes to get ahead of it. So I keep trying to get him as an assistant and he doesn't want help, which is our whole business. Virtual assistants is our whole business. And my assistant saves me daily. Like daily, she keeps me grounded. She keeps me in my zone of genius. It's such a beautiful relationship. I'm trying to get that for him. He's not there yet. But you know what? He's a good person with good intentions. And one of the many things I love about him. So that just leaves me with, I have to work on myself. And I have to work through the things that are triggering me. That's where we are left. And I have to tell you that the reason the other phone call trigger was so good is because it became so clear to me that out of 7 billion people in the world, I can only answer my phone to the ones who align with my values, who make my heart feel good when they call. And I've been preaching it for years that we don't have to take on the clients that make us not feel good. And every single brainstorming call, sales call that I have, I'm like, okay, we only accept nice clients. So I lay it out there. But I was watching a video that was about how short humans have been in the universe and how short the time is that we personally will be here. Like, we're just going to be gone one day. We're going to be somewhere, maybe, or maybe not. We'll find out. But I think the reason that the other trigger was so big to me was that I know that Corey deals with things on a daily basis that are not fun, that make him stressed and overwhelmed and anxious. And some of those things are making him grow, and they're good things. But some of those things, it's just a client that we're like outside of our scope, and we need to not be performing the work that we're performing for that client. We're trying to be helpful. We had good intentions, but it's just outside of our scope, right? And so I could see so clearly that It'll feel better for us and the client if we stay inside our scope and if we say no and if we have these boundaries. I don't want to waste our moments here on earth, him and I can see that we can have this life of, like, I loved my calls so far today. I loved them. I loved talking to a team member. It was so nice because we all have great intentions and we have great processes right now. So it feels good, right? And the work that we do is helpful and that feels good. And we can stay in that. I've been stressed out most of my life. I allowed myself to be stressed out most of my life from my business. And it wasn't necessary. I have value in the marketplace without stressing myself out about things. I have value because I like to do a good job just on my own. You don't have to tell me to do a good job. And it's the same with my team. We have value in the marketplace. We do not have to have these moments. And if you're an entrepreneur, or maybe you're just in business, or maybe like whatever, like you deal with people. So you know that some interactions make you go, ugh. Like they just make you go, ugh, or like they just make you feel really, really bad. We don't have to have those interactions. We don't have to associate with those people. Like we don't. I know sometimes they're family and I know sometimes there's a lot of gray area. And I know sometimes you gotta put a roof over your head. I know that there's but you know what? I'll just speak for me. For me and Corey, we don't have to. We've gotten to a place in our life where we don't have to. And I was in an Uber the other day and I don't know how we got on the subject, but something came up where I own gyms. And one of the rules in the gym was that we only let nice people in. And he was like, well, how do you define nice? And, he was being one of those people. And it was fine, though, because I was like, okay, how do you define nice? And I'm like, well, you don't have to smile. You don't have to do anything except just don't be mean to people. And he's like, well, what's mean? And I'm like, well, like, don't make people go, or like, just don't make people feel bad. And he's like, well, you can't always control that. And I'm like, I mean, I see your point, but kind of we can. Yeah. And he's like, well, it must be nice to just only allow nice people in your life. And I think as an Uber driver, it'd be pretty hard to be like, are you nice? You can't get in unless you're nice. Like, that'd be pretty hard. I want that for him, though. I really do. But anyways, it really has taken me a lifetime to get to this point, and I just want my significant other to see it and to see that we don't have to be afraid. Like, we can do this. And it's better for everyone. And life is going to be over. Like my grandpa dying this week. It's like, life is going to be over so fast. We're not even going to know, like, what happened. Like, it's like, how did it go by so fast? And yeah, I just want to be with people that have good intentions. There's going to be contrast still. When it's a client, it's so different because your livelihood depends on them. And so that's why the relationship feels so bad, right? But if it's just a random person at Trader Joe's, it's fine. Bring it on. As long as they're not punching me in the face, I welcome the contrast. Let's see if I get triggered, right? But it's when it's somebody we depend on and we feel like we need them. That's when this stuff gets really, really, really hard. Okay, we'll probably have more videos and more thoughts on this. But we can do it. You can do it too. We can get there to where we don't have somebody over us who makes us go, ugh. Sorry, I keep making that noise, but it's true. Like, you know the feeling. We can get there. We can get there. We got this. Right. Oh, I wanted to just watch a video like this instead of be the one that made it. But this has been very therapeutic. So thank you for being my therapist. You're much cheaper. How do you feel about all this? If you're still watching, something has to have come up about it, and maybe we'll have a continuation of it. One other thing I wanted to share is I am on day 4 or 5 of meditating every morning and setting the intention of having a day filled with ease and grace and love. And I've had those days. Even though there's some tough things that have happened, I've had some really good days. So something to try for sure. And it's something that I want to keep doing. I feel like I'll figure something like that out, and then I'll just feel so on top of the world and like I have it all figured out. So I'll stop doing that. And then I'll be right back where I was before and wonder, oh man, I was feeling so good. How come I'm not feeling good anymore? And it's like, oh, I stopped doing the thing. And so I've been keeping a journal for a few years now of the things that I'm doing each day. And it's so apparent that once I feel just on top of the world, I stop doing the things that make me feel on top of the world. So I'm going to continue doing that. I referenced that in another video too. By the way, I want to tell you guys that I'm finally getting some traction on YouTube, and I just have enjoyed making my videos, and I'm just like, okay, if one person watches them and they felt something, or something like, if something felt good to them, one person, then I am just so happy. But I felt something when I uploaded my most recent video. I was like, I feel really good about this one. Like, I really feel like when I was editing it, it sounds silly, but as I watch my videos when I'm editing them, just to make sure that everything makes sense, because sometimes I can ramble like I am right now. When the video helps me, because I made it a couple weeks ago, I'm like, okay, this should help someone else because it's helping me right now. Okay, anything come up for you? I would love for this to be a place of us being able to talk together, like YouTube. And I want to read the comments, and I hope you're feeling good, and you can do whatever you want. Subscribe if you want to, but you don't have to. Like if you want to, but you don't have to. I want you to do whatever you want, because freedom, yeah.